My name is Samantha. I make ASMR, and tonight I'm going to be talking about the June 8th, 2022 AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite. So I just have my notes here. Just so that I can kind of keep on track with what happened. There we go. I'm going to be doing my usual ramble with some assorted triggers in the background. Before we start, I just want to ask your permission if it was okay if I touch you tonight. I'm probably going to be doing some face brushing if that's okay with you. Perfect. So, right when the opening theme comes on, there's something that we have to spot. MJF has been removed from the opening title sequence, which I can't talk about. I only started watching wrestling when AEW came along, so this is my first big kind of work like this, and oh my gosh, I hope it is a work, because if not, I was not a One Direction fan when Zayn left One Direction, but I imagine that that's what this would feel like. This would be like Connor Franta leaving Our Second Life. Or Andreas Athanasiou getting traded from the Detroit Red Wings. Like, this would be the end for me. So, oh my gosh, I hope that this is just one big thing, but oh my gosh, I'm so scared that it's not. So that's all that I can talk about with that. So let's start talking about the show. So we ended up starting with a battle royale because CM Punk sadly had to not drop the championship, but stop being the only champion. So they're going to decide who's going to fight Jon Moxley later tonight. So we open and the clubs are already out. The clubs are Daniel Garcia, Eddie Kingston, Tony Nese, Lance Archer, and Darby Allin. I like the skateboard that Darby comes out with. It's bright red. I think it's very striking. So I kind of love that. Lance Archer is definitely not Tony Nese's friend, which I think is funny. Also, when we talk a little bit about outfits, because if you haven't watched one of these before, I will not be talking so much about the moves, but I love talking about plot and outfit choices. Tony isn't just like plain black trunks. Boring. You can't go from gold and like silver to black. Ugh. I was appalled. So then the diamonds come out. We have Ricky Starks, Jake Hager, Ray Phoenix, Swerve Strickland, and Keith Lee. Swerve and Keith end up entering together. This is important, which you know is not out of the norm. Lance ends up going for Keith, but Keith ends up throwing him out. I believe that Tony is the first eliminated, but Lance is pretty close after. That was something to notice about that one. There weren't a lot of like quick eliminations like usual. A lot of times somebody will come out and then just be dumped out right away. There was none of that. No like 1 minute eliminations, at least until all of the people were out, which I thought was nice. It gave people a lot of time to shine. I'm trying to see if I can find, okay, yeah, it hasn't happened yet. I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing things. So then the hearts come out, which is John Silver, Konosuke Takashita. I hope that that's right. He's great. I love him. the like 3 episodes that he's been on, he's just been fantastic. And Max Caster, and then Austin and Colton Guns, of course, they do the whole entrance with the whole thing. Fantastic. I do find saying the wrong city name very, very funny. So that does make me laugh every time. Which is, that's on me. That's a little ridiculous, but you know. So then they're kind of fighting. Then the Spades come out. The Spades are Powerhouse Hobbs, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Dante Martin, and Wheeler Yuta. He's coming back from he just got off the plane from Japan 4 hours ago, and he gets like a standing ovation. His outfit looks great. Him with the title belt, he looks fantastic. His tights have like blood splatter on them. Love. It was a moment, a true moment. So Keith Lee ends up throwing out both of the Gun Club members in a double elimination, but while him and Swerve are laughing, all of a sudden, Swerve lifts Keith over the barricade and throws him out, betraying his tag team partner. Rude, disrespectful, uncalled for, mean. How dare he? So then we get introduced to the Joker, which is Andrade. Yay! Back from his wedding. It's so cute. So he's rushing in. So this is what I was looking for. Ricky avoids one of Phoenix's kick between his paws, and it was such a serve. I was like, wow, that was amazing. They planned that. That was so cool. I love that. I want to see them fight so bad. I hope that that's what this is leading to. I thought that was a little preview. Swerve and Darby do a little handshake thing to kind of team up, but then Swerve almost immediately betrays Darby by also throwing him out. So I think we're getting a Swerve heel turn, which is fantastic. I think he's going to be fantastic as a heel. But then Andrade ends up dumping out Swerve. And now we get to Dynamite. You see my little sketches back there? It's for Comic-Con. So Hobbs ends up dumping Phoenix, but Phoenix isn't dumped all the way out. Phoenix is hanging by his toes from the top rope, and then Yuta lifts Hobbs and throws him over. They love having a skinnier dude dump out a bigger dude in this one. I was like, that's love. Phoenix is doing a bunch of stuff. He's great. Phoenix could tie his shoes in the middle of the ring, and I would be entertained. He can do whatever he wants. He's always dressed good. Fantastic. He, however, does not make it to the final 2. Sad. So our final 2 end up being Yuta and Kyle O'Reilly. Spoiler, Kyle wins. But I have to talk about this. So I'll probably say more when I talk about the actual match. But I did not think that that's where this was going. Like, I kept seeing it, and once I saw that Kyle was still there, I was like, oh no, Kyle's going to win. So, again, I didn't watch WWE. And I think that they haven't done a great job at making Kyle interesting for a non-WWE watching audience. Like, I don't know what he's there for. He talks after this, and in that, he's talking to William Regal, which again I will talk about. But he says, I came here to do 2 things. Like, one of them was to wrestle the best professional wrestlers in the world, and the other is to win championships. I've never known that. That has never been stated to the audience. I don't think ever. I don't know why Kyle's here. I thought it was just to hang out with his friends. I also don't like his gear. And maybe that's why I'm biased. And he seems like a really good wrestler, but when there's like no build, I need something. And the idea of Yuta fighting his teammate, I know that they just fought, but fighting his teammate and like regal on commentary and like actually critiquing, like obviously Yuta would lose, which doesn't look great, but he's still like new and he still has the Ring of Honor championship. So making that, I think, would have been so much more interesting of a match because it already has a story. I know that he was probably tired because he just got off the plane and he'd just been wrestling like this whole time. But I just thought it would have been much immediately more interesting because like I don't know what Kyle is there to do. Which again doesn't mean that he's not a good wrestler. But for me personally, wrestling is slightly secondary if I don't already love the person that's wrestling. Like Private Party doesn't have a lot of build to their matches, but I love them. So I'm always excited to see them when they're able to come out. And it's kind of, I need one of those kind of things where it's like, oh, I don't see him a lot. He doesn't get to run the piece at first. He was part of, with Bobby Fish, and I was like, oh, they're doing tag team, but now he's done a bunch of individual matches, so is he getting a push? But why is he getting a push? Because he's never told me why he wants to be here, really? I don't know. Again, I'll talk about it more when they do their actual match. I don't think that he's for me, which is me. I don't want him to be like mean, and I'm sure that he's super nice. Not quite for me. And I'll say that somebody else is for me later, and that will be controversial, so hopefully this is okay. So anyway, John Moxley ends up talking right after this, yelling about how he's gonna destroy him, and then ends his promo with "Love you, Mom," which, perfect. That was beautiful, perfectly executed. I love that. They announced that they have a new belt. He's brushing. This is the All Atlantic Championship, and they're going to be having some matches for this. And the lineup looks great. I'm really excited about it. Miro and Ethan Page are next week, which I love. Everybody's talking about how pretty the belt looks. I think it looks fine. Again, I haven't really seen a bad wrestling belt yet. Just because they haven't done a bad design yet, so looks great. Then we get Buddy Matthews versus Pac, and I'm so excited for this. So let's talk about entrances. I'm going to have to look at my notes for this a little bit. Big boy match. So I love that the House of Black can now enter one at a time. But you can tell who they are by their silhouettes. I think that's so fun. Love the entrance. Buddy's gear is surveyed. I love the little ripped bits that are hanging down. He looks like a pirate in a way, which I love. That might not be everybody's favorite, but I liked it. It's all black. He looks ready to go. Pac is in his usual wear. He enters alone, which is all black. And if you've watched before, you know that usually I like contrasting colors. I like black and white, red and blue, yellow and purple. Like, I like there to be a distinction. Purple and green I love too. Those look really good together. But this one, you didn't need it because it doesn't match either of their characters. I only like distinctive colors when it matches the theme of the match or what they're doing or, something like that. So this one didn't need to be distinctive colors because you could also tell who they were immediately because they had different silhouettes. And that's usually my thing with colors is that they're wearing the same silhouette, and if you're newer, you can't quite tell which is which. So, but this one was not needed at all. It was fantastic. They do this thing where Buddy's outside the ring, and then he's like going to get Pac, but Pac slides out of the ring, and then Buddy slides out to compete with Pac, and then as he does that, Pac slides back into the ring, and then they do it like 2 more times. I think it's hilarious. That was funny. It was a nice little bit of comedy in like a serious match because you think of them as more serious contenders. It wasn't like a best friends match where that would be a bit more expected, or a gun club match. Like, I thought it was really interesting how they were able to integrate that in well. There is a table spot during picture-in-picture. I was watching with my mom, and my mom had just so happened to look up at that time because usually, I will not lie to you, I'm on my phone during some of picture-in-picture, and she goes, "There's a table spot. You can't do a table spot during picture-in-picture." And my mom knows less about wrestling than, me. So, yeah, you can't do a table spot during picture-in-picture. I get it. You made us pay attention, but like, come on. That is so rude. I want to see the table spot big. I think that maybe the in and out of the ring was supposed to line up with the picture-in-picture, and then the table spot was supposed to be not a picture. I don't know. Overthinking it. But anyway, at one point, Pac jumps onto Buddy's shoulders from the ropes, which is insane. Oh my gosh, it was so cool. Pac ends up winning with his finisher, the one that does the flippy thingy. I can't remember what it's called, but he hasn't done it in a little bit. I was so excited. I was like, he did the thing. Yes. And then that triangle comes out, and they like hug him. It is so cute. Like that. I love that triangle so much. Oh my gosh, I was like, stop. It's so cute. There's these big hugs, and Buddy Matthews is like limping out of the ring, and you kind of think that he's going to get yelled at as like Malachi walks down ramp with Julia and Brody, but Brody's immediately consoling him, and it's just so wonderful because you're like, oh no, he's actually not getting yelled at, which is nice. And maybe things won't stay like that, but it's nice for now. And Penta does this to Malachi, I believe, because they're going to fight, which is very exciting. I love this. This is so great. I'm so excited to see Julia. She looks great. She sounds great. She's delivering those lines like, yes, queen. Then we have an Eddie promo because him and Jake Hager had beef during the Battle Royale. Jake Hager's not my favorite person. That's okay. Doesn't have to be. Eddie does this very funny thing during it. Well, one, he's like yelling about how he's going to get his time and not to count him down. But he goes, Daniel Garcia, I hate you. He says like that. No mouth moving, all teeth like this. And he goes, 2.0, I hate you. It just made me giggle quite a bit. Made me laugh. Then we have a commercial break, and then Trent is in the middle of the ring. He said it's best friends day, but none of my friends are here, and it's like, oh my gosh, why aren't they here? That's so sad, buddy. I hate that for you. But he says that Roppongi Vice never actually lost the tag team championships. They didn't win, but they didn't lose. They would like a rematch. FTR comes out, says, yes, we do want a rematch. And the people that you should be mad at are the people that intervene, which are Will Ospreay's goons. And then Will Ospreay's music plays, and then he comes out. I don't know who he is. Well, actually, I'd actually heard of him. He's from New Japan. I'd heard of him, but that's about it. I had name recognition. They did a good job kind of like filling us in. I like when they're like, oh my gosh, is that Will Ospreay from New Japan? And they like do a little bio. It always makes me laugh. He has just weird energy. I wrote down that he looks like an evil Niall Horan. Second One Direction reference in this video. But they do this lift and flip thing. Like Trent is seated between their hands and then they flip him, and because two other dudes come out. That was so cool. It was hilarious. It was cool. They cut to somebody in the audience when Will comes out that's going, yes. Which I love. I love seeing people excited, you know? Then we have the Undisputed and Regal talk, and Regal essentially tells him to back out. And Kyle says his motivations for being here for the first time. Which, I don't know. I just need a little bit more than to fight wrestlers and win championships. Like, what if you... They do mention his kids. And I'm like, okay, now I'm learning a little backstory. But, you know, I don't know. Then we have David Finley versus Hangman Adam Page. Okay, Adam Cole is on commentary. Finley has this blue in its tights that I find very, very pretty. I'm going to be doing lights. If I can get it on and not blinking. Look here. Look here. Fantastic. And Hangman has on this filigree outfit that I think is so very, very pretty. I liked it a lot. I thought they both looked great. Honestly, they might have been the best dressed fight of the night. Have you seen those? I have some tinsel in my hair. They fight angry, which I don't think I've ever said before, but it was super interesting because they just had this like really kind of aggressive back and forth, and Finley's definitely aggressive. Like he took out Adam's legs from under him at one point. We do get like the fourth backbreaker of the night. She'll love to backbreaker. But you know, that's fine. It's a cool move. I won't lie. So then Hangman ends up winning with the buckshot lariat. And he starts talking and he says, you know, the AEW World Championship isn't the only championship. And he says, I would like the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. And I was like, you know, because I was very excited to see Punk win. But I was like, we had like 2 years of storytelling leading up to Adam winning. So it just felt a little short-lived. But if the idea is that he wins the IWGP Championship, or goes for it even, then Tony is a genius. Because that's so smart. It's way to, like, I loved it. And then Adam Cole sits there and goes, you're not gonna get it, blah, 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 blah. I'm on the Owen Hart tournament, so I should get a shot at it, or whatever. I don't care. They mentioned Jay White, who is, in Adam Cole's words, his close personal friend. But yeah, I think that if this was all setting up for Hangman to win that is so exciting. I'm so excited. Then we get Wardlow speaking, which is very exciting for me. He is in a floral shirt, like usual when he has to be dressed up. But you can't hate it. They actually didn't make him walk forever. Last week, I made him walk still, like a mile. It's like, he's in the company now. Put some respect on his name. They didn't walk up the entrance, but they didn't have him, walk forever. Which I thought was better. He says, "This is Wardlow's world." I said, "You are correct, sir." And he announces that he wants to go for the TNT title, which of course causes Scorpio to come out. Dan ends up stopping him because he has an injured foot. Ethan also holds him back. And Wardlow's like, "Well, whenever you're ready." And I think it's gonna be great that they'll time to build this, because I haven't been super invested in the TNT stuff with Sammy, but I really like Scorpio, and he just got his new Lakers belt, and I think that that's wonderful, and I really like him being champion, so I'm excited that there will be some time between this match, because I assume that they're going to probably try and crown Wardlow pretty soon, which I don't think that they have to do. He has enough momentum that he could lose a title or two, which is okay. Then we cut to Smart Mark Sterling, who is mad because Wardlow is not taking this class action lawsuit seriously. Which, what did he expect? And he's back there with the security guards, and he says, "You can either face me in the court of law, or you can face these guys 20-1. And that's what Wardlow decides to do. I'm so excited for that. I think it'll be very funny. And I hope that, there is, a little bit of, fighting to it. I think it would be funny to see him just squash them all. But I also think it would be very funny if it just went on for, 10 minutes. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it would be funny. So then we have a Young Bucks promo. I think it's turned 18 today. She can vote. And the Young Bucks promo starts out with, "How we looking, Brandon?" And Brandon goes, "Super cute." So you know that I love that, obviously. So they're talking, and then the Hardys come in and say how they want a shot at the belts. And then Jurassic Express comes in, and Christian's doing all the talking, and they say that they want a shot at the belts. So Christian, puts down Jungle Boy. He's like, he got his butt handed to him. But that's okay. Why are you bringing that up, bestie? And then he says, "I think that we should do a ladder match." They're like, "Okay." So then there's gonna be a 3-way ladder match that Jurassic Express didn't even really agree to. Christian just signed them up for. So that'll be super interesting, I think. We'll see how that goes. So earlier, we had seen a clip of Thunder Rosa issuing an open challenge, and Marina Shafir accepting. The only thing that I didn't quite get about that segment was that Marina Shafir's in this white dress, and not that she can't wear that, but it didn't feel consistent to what we had seen of her, hoodie, that felt a little odd and kind of separated. But anyway, so that match is happening. when Marina comes out, I actually like her. This is going to be a little bit long-winded, but I actually think she's been very, very interesting because I don't think that we have had a woman since Layla Hirsch do kind of, but even Layla Hirsch is like still pretty charismatic. I still wish that she joined Team Chaos. I think that would have been great. But Marina Shafir's not charismatic. She comes out to that classical kind of violin music, and she just like puts her head down and like walks to the ring. And I think that that's interesting because I think there is a very big hole in the AEW women's division for a girl that like is just like there to do her thing. Like, she's not like dressed crazy. There's not like it doesn't seem like there's a lot of effort put into her appearance, which like it's not like a nag. Like, I love it. Like, she's just such a fighter, and it doesn't seem like the women's division has like a fighter. Like, it doesn't seem like she cares. Isn't waving to the crowd, isn't trying to get them to like her. Like, I think that she's really important to fill this hole of like a hook type character for the women's division, or even kind of like an Orange Cassidy type character for the women's division. Just like somebody that comes out and like doesn't talk a lot, and you know, maybe Orange Cassidy isn't the best example because he still has like his things, but do you kind of get what I'm saying? Like, somebody that's just kind of normal in a way, and is, you know, wrestling in black leggings and a black sports bra. It's like ready to go. Like, here we go. She's got a messy braid in. I just think it's a really interesting character for them to focus on. I seem to be in the minority because she did not have a great reception, which is a little sad. Again, I think it's because they didn't build some match. And the reason that I was excited to see was because I'm excited to see her kind of go somewhere. But I get that probably not everybody is excited for that. Thunder Rosa comes out just in her Kill Bill gear, complete with a jacket this time. Such a serve. I loved it. Again, I think I'm in the minority here, but I kind of like the match. It was really grapply, which I usually wouldn't like, but it looked, what I like seemed to be what everybody else hated about it, which was that it was kind of awkward, and like, I don't know, I thought it was interesting that it was kind of weirdly put together. I don't know. I am in the minority. But anyway, Thunder Rosa wins, which we probably predicted, obviously. You know, I'm taking what I can get with the women's division. Seeing one that, like, isn't necessarily, not that she's not hot, but she's not trying to be perceived as hot. And she's not, again, not super charismatic. It's not like she's talking. She's just a problem, which I love. I love that she's just like a problem. So she ends up beating up on Thunder Rosa after the match, and then Toni Storm comes out, and she saves Thunder Rosa, and she picks up the belt to hand to her, and everybody's like, oh, she's coming for the belt, but she ends up handing it back to Thunder Rosa, which is very nice. I think it was a first time in a little bit that we've seen some real storytelling with Thunder Rosa for the Women's Championship. I think that they've been focusing on a lot of storytelling with Jade, but honestly, I think that Jade makes a lot of her storytelling. Like, I think that she's just good at talking, so I hope that, not that Thunder Rosa isn't good at talking, she's great, she delivers a wonderful speech, but I love Thunder Rosa, so I hope that I get to see kind of more, and it's not just like her and Britt Baker. I think that they have a lot of trouble booking babyface women, which again is kind of like what I'm trying to say with Marina Shafir, is that they don't know what to do with a woman who isn't like out there. They don't know how to do it, and I hope that they don't try and change her to be out there, because she doesn't need to be out there. I want to see them have a woman that isn't this like cool, super charismatic, super cool girl type, you know, hot girl type thing. Like, I want to see them book just like a woman, because they started to with Abaddon a little bit, because Abaddon was like a very, very new character for the women's division, and then I don't know if she just wasn't ready, but I, haven't seen her on Dynamite or Rampage in quite a while. So, I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, very long talk about the women's division. So, then we move on to a Jade promo. She's with the baddies, Kira Hogan and Red Velvet. As always, Kira in all blue, Red in all red. They look great. Jade's in all black, kind of pleather kind of outfit. Serve. They're making fun of Athena's match coming up. I think it's interesting too. I'm kind of excited to see what they do with her as well. I think that will be kind of cool. Stokely, I have quickly begun to love. He's great. He essentially starts his talk by going, "You heard the queen," in reference to Jade. I'm like, yeah, I did, babe. You were so right. What a serve. So they end their promo, and then we get to the Kyle O'Reilly versus John Moxley match. Regal was on commentary for this. The Blackpool Combat Club hoodie, kind of thick. I was trying to figure out if it comes with the thumb holes or not. If you put those themselves, because if it comes with the thumb holes, I'm getting it. Again, this is a really good wrestling match, but I just couldn't get into it because I do kind of need to, again, either really like who they are to start with, if there's no story, or have a story. I need a build up and payoff. If I'm not already super interested in the wrestler, and I just didn't feel that kind of thing with Kyle, I kind of went on and on about earlier. There was a really cool spot where Kyle broke up the pin with his teeth on the ropes, which was sick. Like, again, I think he's a really good wrestler and he does really interesting storytelling in his matches, but I can't tell what story he's trying to tell. It was interesting when, again, like, I thought that he was gonna help Adam turn on the Young Bucks and Kenny, but then they kind of dropped that a bit. We lost that thread a bit. I don't know why. But after he put his teeth on the ropes, John kicks the ropes, and I'm like, ow, looks like it hurts. And Moxley ends up winning with a very cute pin. Looked like they were talking to each other. I thought it was honestly a good show. The Buddy Matthews Pac match was so sick. And again, I honestly like the Marina Shafir and Thunder Rosa match, but again, I seem to be in the very minority of that. I'm excited for Rampage. I'm honestly excited for next week already. So they're really doing their job. I'm so excited for the Forbidden Door pay-per-view. And honestly, I know in my heart that most of that is because I think that the Golden Lovers are going to get back together. And I know that they probably won't, because Kenny is probably still hurt. But, like, happy Pride if they do. Oh my gosh, I would lose my mind. I will probably be going to the Blood and Guts show in Detroit. It will be my third show, so hopefully I can make it there. We'll see though. My friend that was going to go with me can no longer go. But we shall see. So that's going to be it for tonight. I hope that this video